Hey guys, I'm Richard, and today I'm gonna be doing a little unboxing on a pair of track running shoes that I just got. Um, it's a little difficult to call these track spikes, and you'll see why in a moment. First, a little background about me as a track athlete. I'm a sprinter. I kind of like to diversify the events that I do. Um, I like running the 60 meters indoors. Uh, I also have run the 400-meter hurdles in the past, and I do want to get back to it. I definitely really enjoy running the 400-meter hurdles as much as someone can enjoy it. It's a very tiring and brutal event, but I think I did enjoy many aspects of it. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. First, I'll just show you the box. So as you can see, it is Asics. The box was a little bit beat up in the process of shipping. I live in Canada. They don't really ship in Canada. I couldn't find it anywhere. I had to get them through a friend who lives in the United States. So that shipping process wasn't the best. Canada Post is sometimes a little bit trifling, but that's a story for another time. So yeah, they're Asics. For those of you that don't know, Asics is a Japanese brand. Um, they're they make athletic stuff. Yeah, I guess they're like a Japanese Nike, maybe. Not too sure, but I'll show you guys the spikes now. Here's the wrapping paper that it comes with. There's a set of instructions in here. This is the first time that I've gotten any sort of footwear, probably any sort of clothing in general that comes with like an instruction booklet. And it's basically telling you the uses for for this pair of spikes. So it tells you what events to use it for. It's suggested to use in the 100 meters and 200 meters, so it's very much a sprint spike. And then it talks a bit about the material that is used in the construction, and then kind of like what to do when it starts wearing out. And we will get back into the instructions a bit maybe later. But yeah, you can see user manual. So here are the spikes. I got them in this I think they're called forest green or pine green and danger yellow or caution yellow. It's like the yellow, like the neon yellow color that they use on like reflective vests. They're very stiff, and I'll show you the outsole here. So this is why I said I would hesitate to call them spikes, because they don't actually come with a place to put pins in, and they obviously don't come with pins either. And your traditional track spike, for anyone who doesn't know, would have, for a sprint spike, maybe anywhere between like 4 to 10 metal or titanium pins coming out of the bottom here for traction purposes. But on this pair of shoes, all you have is just a carbon fiber outsole with what they call the hex claw design. So you could see like the bumps that protrude out from the plate, and these are used to provide grip. And basically, according to Asics, they in their testing, it makes a 100-meter time faster by 0.05 seconds, which is a pretty significant margin in the 100-meter dash. And the decrease in time is due to the fact that you don't have as much friction of metal pins going into the track, and then it has to come out as well. You kind of just hit the ground, and it doesn't go into the ground, it just leaves the ground. And ground contact time is a big thing in track and field. These are also a very stiff outsole. It's entirely carbon fiber, so like, yeah, I'll show other spikes later, but other spikes are not nearly this stiff. Like, this is very difficult to bend. I haven't tried running in these yet, but people have compared it to other spikes such as the Max Flies, or any other spike that utilizes carbon fiber that's more for like a sprinter. These are different from those types of super spikes because they are low to the ground, kind of like traditional spikes. Whereas for the so-called super spikes, you kind of see that, at least in the front here, there's a either foam padding, or in the case of the Max Flies, there's an air bubble. And the purpose of that is to increase the stride length by a little bit, and it's supposed to help out in the top speed phase. But the idea with these is really just to be low to the ground, more like your traditional sprint spike. The plate is designed similarly to a more popular spike such as the Superfly Elite. It kind of has a similar honeycomb shape, but the spike plate itself really looks more reminiscent of the other Asics spikes. So the Asics Sonic Sprint Elite 2 actually has the exact same hex claw design, or maybe not the exact same, but it's a very similar hex claw design on it. That it's not a carbon fiber plate, it's not as stiff, and it does have the metal pins. But yeah, they also released another spike called the Jet Sprint 2, and that one was similar to this in that it's very flat. So a lot of sprint spikes, the toe here would be like pointed more up at a more aggressive angle, but these are relatively flat, and the idea of it is kind of that you are able to land, you're able to land with a lot of force, and you're able to activate and then kind of like roll off the ground. This really looks like something that Asics maybe has been building up to in terms of the spike plate design, but it's definitely very unique because it doesn't have spikes in it. And I think, they're called track spikes, so you would assume like, that's the one thing that they have, but Asics said no. Going back to the instruction booklet for just one moment, it has some instructions on what to do when the grip wears out. Now, because I haven't run in these, and I haven't run in these for a long time, and I don't know anyone who really has either, but the people that I do know who have used these spikes have said that in the relatively short time that they used it, so over the course of a couple months, they have found that the outsole hasn't worn out at all, probably because it's carbon fiber. It's not like a softer material. It's very rigid and it's very strong, so it probably lasts longer than the spike plate on other spikes. For example, most spikes that don't use carbon fiber would use P-backs. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but P-E-B-A-X, usually in all caps, and it's a stiff material compared to like what you usually would see in a shoe, but it's not nearly as stiff. And I'll actually show you another pair of spikes. So this is the Nike Zoom 400. So as you can see, the spike plate design, it's not like really the same, but it's like there's a little bit of similarity. The overall shape of the shoe, even though this is designed specifically for the 400, I would say that this one at the toe, it actually curves upwards a bit more. This spike plate isn't nearly as strong. If you can see down here, I've actually cracked two of the threads on this honeycomb spike plate. And the nice thing about this spike plate though is because it's individually like webbed, if you crack like one connection, the rest of it still remains stiff. This is a similar spike plate to what you'll see on Superfly Elites, but it's a little bit less aggressive. It's a little bit less stiff. But as you can see, like I could bend this pretty easily. Obviously it's less stiff now than when I first got them, but when it comes to the Asics Metasprint, it's really not bending. I have seen that like everyone who has these spikes has definitely given them high reviews. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention, these are very light. And part of that is because they don't have spikes and they don't have like the wells that you screw the spikes into. Oftentimes with higher end spikes, you'll see like permanent spikes, so you can't remove them, and that was to reduce the weight. For these, they decided to reduce the weight, but also just reduce the amount of time that you're contacting the ground. So it's really, I guess, a big innovation in terms of spike technology. It's a direction that we haven't really seen other companies go in. So yeah, this is the 4th pair of spikes that I've ever owned. So I can't say that I'm an expert on spikes, but when deciding what spikes to get, I definitely did do my research. Like, you know, I took a look at a lot of different spikes out there. I zoomed in using the little magnifying glass on Google to look at like little details. So I hope you enjoy this video, and if you have any questions, please leave in the comments down below and I'll do my best to answer them. And as I mentioned before, I will update once I have run in these a little bit. Usually with spikes, I find I personally have about a 2 to 3 session break-in time. So at first they feel very uncomfortable around my feet, but after I wear them for like 2 or 3 sessions, I start getting accustomed to them, and I guess my feet mold a bit into them. So yeah, I haven't really tried these on or anything. I'll talk about the fit and everything of the lacing in the next video, but for now, I really hope you enjoyed. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like or a comment. And yeah, I'll see you next time.